All right, so Swickley Heights on my way to KDKA tonight, and he will be joining me on the radio coming up a week from this Monday, which is July the 8th, to talk about why I'm here today. HM3 Partnerships, Pat Hansen, that great brand, the big concert earlier today, Pittsburgh Today, the afternoon version. You were on the air with Kelly and Heather, and Kevin Colbert was there, and you mapped the whole thing out. Now we're going to have a chance to tell my social media audience exactly what you told them on television. This is big time stuff. Pat Benatar, her husband, are going to be there. You've got Smokey Robinson. You've got Pitbull, Ghost Towns, Thomas Tall, who's very well known, especially in this great community of Swickley. How'd you pull this off?
Well, it was really something. I worked on this thing for at least a year of uh, a wish list that the Hampsons had of artists, and we worked through them, and it started as just because we always did one day.
Right.
Then it then Pat came up with the idea. He goes, "Let's go for 2 days this time. We're going to do a Friday and a Saturday." So I said, "Okay." So I was finally able to go out, and Pat Benatar was on our target for a few years in a row, and she got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year with Neil Giraldo, her husband, and the band, and it was perfect timing to get her because she can't be hotter than right now, and so I was able to lock in the Friday, and then Saturday with Bob Bazzelli. He's the manager of Smokey. We have that association and relationship with him. He's a great friend as well. He was able to go, and we talked with Smokey, and he agreed. And so the second night, the Saturday night, is starring the legendary Smokey Robinson and his band and backup. And on that target was Pitbull for a couple years, and it just didn't work. And finally, the routing, if he's in the Northeast, that was a good thing, and I was able to lock it in. So
All genres of music, a flavor for everyone to enjoy. You have outdone yourself, but to give people an idea, I kind of follow music on a regular basis. I watch a little bit of MTV every day just to see what's out there, and him and I always get caught up on some of the big things that are happening in the industry. Pitbull is larger than life. He has literally, there's a reason they call him Mr. Worldwide. He's
exactly.
rich. This guy is loved worldwide. And to get him to that backyard in Gibsonia, that may be the biggest thing you've ever done in this business.
It really is because, well, aside from the Rolling Stones, and
Which, by the way, the
Billy
Ghost
Joel.
Towns, Thomas Tall, they have
Okay.
actually opened
Yeah,
for the Stones.
and I also did want to mention that Queen V is there
Bill Cowher's wife.
on Friday night, opening for Pat Benatar, Neil Giraldo, and the Ghost Towns, who opened for the Rolling Stones in 3 or 4 cities.
They're just in Cleveland.
Yeah, and they're going to be here. So that's a great added attraction as well. But anyway, you will go crazy when you see Pitbull's setup, the sound, the lights, his band and orchestra. I don't want to give it away, but it's over 30 pieces on stage. It's unreal with the dancers and again, I don't want to give it away, but it's going to be drop dead unbelievable, and a show not to be missed. And with your ticket price on Saturday, and I think on Friday, it's all there. Well, both days it's free parking, valet parking and free parking, and valet's free also. And there is a buffet, not a buffet, like a strolling food. I don't know whatever you call
All
them.
sorts of
Food
good
stations.
stuff.
Food stations. So strolling dinner. So for everybody.
It's like a charcuterie board on wheels.
Exactly. So and Walnut Grill's doing that.
Oh.
So it's going to be
Top shelf.
yeah, top shelf. Yes, a gourmet, and So we're just so excited because the intimacy. You have to understand that, and people have to understand. You're not going to an arena, paying $42 for parking, or to a stadium, and sitting way back and say, "Is that really him?" This is, if you want to be right up front, 20 feet, 25 feet from the front of the stage, and that's where you want to be. That's where you will be. No matter if you bought a VIP ticket or a regular ticket, so you pick your positioning, and this is at the guys, the Hampsons, their property, their house. I mean, this is literally at their house. That's like us having something right down here.
Right.
His property is sloped as much. That works. We're going to put this stage in. I mentioned to so many people, this is the biggest mobile stage known to man that's coming. It takes several days to put up, and it's going to be over 100 feet wide, and height with the lights, the fireworks at the end. It's an extravaganza that should not be missed.
You know, I love radio, obviously, and I'm a fan of all radio, and satellite radio has become a part of the world we live in now. And do you
Sure.
realize two of the performers that you're bringing, Pitbull and Smokey, both have their own channels?
That's big.
That's huge. And how you
Yeah.
convince them, look, I know money talks and it's none of my business, but you had to do an incredible job doing what you do as far as selling them to come here.
Well, that's what I do. I'm a negotiator, and I sell, buy. Unfortunately.
But this ticket, it's,
But
again,
listen, it was a little bit easier this time because of Children's Hospital.
UPMC
So
Children's
that
Hospital
goes like
Foundation.
right here, and you say, hey, you know, the Hamptons, the HM3 is picking up the majority of the cost, and the bottom line all goes to Children's Hospital. So whenever Pat Benatar heard that, she's all about that, and the same way with Pitbull, and same way with Smokey, and the others felt the same way. So this is a great charity that
pays it forward. Has been since 2014.
exactly. So we're, I'm just happy to be producing this, and I put it together for the Hampsons and HM3, and we're just gonna blow it up, baby, big.
Well, I just absolutely love it. And of course, you can click on, learn anything about it, Google HM3 Partnership, and you'll be able to score some tickets. And they also are going to have a golf outing that's going to happen before the event begins on the weekend to benefit two incredible people that we know, Mel Blunt, his youth home, and of course, Jerome Bettis, Wheels on the Bus. And Mr. Colbert's going to be a part of that, and Bob Pompiani and Larry Richard, dear friend Michael Young, Paul Mango, and of course, Treesdale is where they're going to be teeing off there. Now that we took care of them, I got to just break a little bread and talk to you about some things happening in the world of entertainment. So,
Sure.
years ago, came out on Netflix, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Phil Knight, Sonny Vaccaro, Nike, okay? So I just found it fascinating because there's a little promoter in me too. I'm not in the same category, but I love to sell and promote.
I like that.
So I said, I'm looking and there's Sonny Vaccaro's number in my list, my phone contacts. I'm like, how did I get that? Well, then your dear friend, longtime partner, Pat DeCesar, they grow up together in Trafford.
Sure.
Goes to Youngstown State, Sonny Vaccaro. He convinces Pat to come. Years later, Sonny wants the Round Ball Classic to start. They're going to put it in McKeesport High School. Your dear friend, my dear friend Pat says, no, let's do the arena. And Sonny says, they're not going to let us put it in Civic Arena. And Pat said, look, we just got the Beatles there. I think they're going to listen to me. And they sold it out.
Yeah.
You guys have never, ever been afraid to make the call or at least try. And that's, you're doing it today. I mean, Pitbull, Smokey Robinson, Pat Benatar. In the 80s, no one was a hit maker like her, maybe other than Hall & Oates. I mean,
Right.
do you guys, have you ever been a little apprehensive to make the call and ask?
Never. Never. It's like like you know how to ski, but you're going to be on this big triple black diamond slope,
Right.
and you turn your skis and you go, let's go.
That's it, man.
And you go for it. Yes. That's,
You know, the Tall Theater, by the way, in Swickley, is such a great venue. And my friend Joe Piccarelli, that wonderful restaurant, 424 Walnut, Mambo Italiano. I love Swickley, love it, love it. But speaking of the movies, and a guy who reminds me a lot of you because he takes chances. You know, Kevin Costner's got this
Sure.
movie Horizon coming out.
Yes.
That he basically mortgaged his home and had to come up with like $40 million of his own money. The industry is changing a lot. I'm hoping people get out to the movie theaters and watch something this summer, but especially this movie Horizon, because it talks about the Old West and people who had to go out and really earn it, you know?
Sure.
And no one tells a better story of the Old West. He is my generation's Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, and it's like the old actor thing. Can you ride a horse? Even if you can't, you say you can because you want the job.
right.
With all the streaming services and everything that are happening right now, your industry, do you think we'll always have concerts like we have them today, or do you think a lot of this stuff is going to have to be paid for to watch on a streaming service? Do you think people still want to go out and experience it live?
There's nothing better than experience it live. I said this for years and years and years. Nothing like being there. I mean, you can watch the Eagles on a documentary or a concert that they put on, but being there, feeling the audience, feeling the electricity, and feeling the audience, the love,
The vibe you
the
get.
vibe, yeah, that's what I was looking for. The vibe that comes off of that whole thing cannot be replaced.
We're sitting here with Rich Engler, his wife Cindy, filming this video, just kind of getting caught up. Don't forget HM3 Partnership, the big show coming up. You're going to want to be a part of it. Neil Giraldo, Pat Benatar, Ghost Towns, Mr. Tall, of course, that Pittsburgh Connection Blues Band. They just recently opened for the Stones in Cleveland. You got Smokey Robinson, you've got Pitbull. It's going to be a great week of food, entertainment in Gibsonia, an intimate setting. Really get a chance to get up close and personal and see some of the most popular acts on the planet, and with her going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as big as she has ever been. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, the Taylor Swift phenomenon, and you answered a question so quickly by the time, I mean, I literally sat down in your house and you answered the thing that I was wondering. Can she be this big 10, 15, 20 years from now? This Eras Tour is breaking all records, and you said it perfectly. And then I was thinking about Little Steven, who's got the documentary on HBO Max right now, which reminds me of you and Cindy. Absolutely loved it. But Bruce Springsteen, the people that were there with them in Jersey in the 70s grew up with them. It's the same thing with Taylor Swift. These people are going to grow up with her. It's the same thing with the Stones. So she's probably, as you said so astutely, she's going to be doing this 30 years from now.
Yeah, yes. Unless she retires for some reason, but I don't think she will. I think she'll keep writing songs. She's the real deal. She has the look. She has the presence. She has the
work ethic,
the cachet, everything. And as long as people keep wanting to see her and listen to her, she's gonna do it. And she's like the Beatles of today. I mean, we all still love to listen to the Beatles because we were there. We were on all those, listened to all those albums, and all the way up to the White Album and the last album and everything like that. So this is the same thing, same feeling these young people are going to have for her, because it's not going to quit.
She recently was in London, and Paul McCartney was there with his daughter Mary. And I'm telling you right now, remember you heard it, he's probably going to end up doing a duet with her. Same thing that Sinatra did that really got him just accolades when he did those duet albums. They were huge. Even people who've been in the industry, the Stones and that forever, they still want to plug into some of the younger stuff just to be youthful, but also stay connected, because there's audiences coming up every generation, right?
That's a brilliant move, exactly, without a doubt. You hit it on the head.
You know, it's just, I just find your business fascinating. But honestly, and I know you've done so many things. We could talk about the Bee Gees at the height, they're popular in the 70s. But to be able to bring Pitbull, when I saw that, I kept thinking, how did he pull this off? This guy is a megastar.
You're right.
And it's all for the Children's Hospital Foundation of UPMC. And this, Pat Hansen, this is a brilliant, brilliant idea.
Well, thank you. It was a wish and a hope that we could do it, and I was able to put it together for him. And
You got to tell me one story before I leave. So the
Sure.
movie One Love comes out about Bob Marley. So I thought of you immediately. Actually, was going to actually have you on the radio because I love Bob Marley. But tell the story of his, obviously his death and the Stanley and Pittsburgh and that concert and that special relationship. Because the movie right now is streaming and it's getting rave reviews. It's about truly one of the most important musicians of my life and talking about Bob
Yeah.
Marley. But talk about the Pittsburgh
Well,
connection.
that story and my relationship with Bob Marley is a very close to my heart situation because I not only took Bob Marley in the early days when he meant nothing, and I lost money. I lost money. I think the third or fourth time I did him, we did kind of okay. It was June of 1980. I did it, and it was a fair audience, about 50%, and so he was able to come out with Jammin' and a couple of these other tunes, and I was able to go to some radio stations and say, hey, you need to get beyond this thing, and they jumped on it, and I was able to get the show for September 23rd, 1980, and as soon as I put it on sale, boom, it sells out. So I was so excited uh, that we had a plaque made. I had Ed Traviserigo, and we were all excited. We're gonna talk with Bob and get the plaque and all these nice things. And the day before the show, um, I get a call from Jody Winnick, and he said, "Hey, how's everything going on the show?" I said, "Great." And he goes, "Well, I'm having some problems with Bob, and I'll call you in the morning." So I said, "What does that mean?" He goes, I don't know right now." He said, he didn't tell me anything. I mean, it was just like, you can't let me hang like this. So he calls me first thing in the morning, like at 10 o'clock. He says, "Rich, I don't know how to tell you this, but I really don't know if he's going to make it." He did not tell me that he collapsed in Central Park the day before. That's when he called me because he was in the hospital and
Right.
just getting out.
Right.
So I didn't know. So I said, "Well, what are the chances?" He goes, "Give me an hour or so, and I'll get back to you." And so it was like 2 hours. I'm sweating bullets, and I get this call, and he goes, "Rich," he goes, "I can't believe it. He's coming." He said, "Rita is livid."
His wife.
Rita, his wife, uh, she doesn't want him to go. She's telling him, "Don't do it, don't do it." And he said, "Man, I want to do it." So he said he should get there maybe around 3, 4 o'clock or something like that. So I said, "Okay." So I said, "Tell him, I'll see him. I'll meet him at the door. Show him to the dressing room. We'll have everything set up. I'll have a pillow and all those things, or if he wants to sleep or whatever, we could do that." So sure enough, he shows up. I meet him out by the bus, and I walk him in. We go out. The Stanley Theater had an elevator. We took the elevator. A little when I say it was 1920. It was built 1927. So the elevator was slow but worked.
Good word.
So we took him up to the dressing room, and I said, "Hey, Bob, whatever you need." He goes, I said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" He goes, "Man," he goes, "I'm going to do it." He goes, "My band needs the money, and I want to do this." I said, "Okay. If any time you don't want to do it, you tell me, and we will postpone it." I never use the word cancel, ever. It's not in my vocabulary.
No, I don't like that
So,
word either.
so it's we will postpone it to another day. He goes, "Okay." So I wait and wait and wait and wait. So finally, maybe an hour or so before the show, I go up. I knock on the door. So he's in there. He has the guitar on, and he's playing a little bit. And he was like laying back like this, but he was playing. And same thing. I said, "Man, you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah, yeah, 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 I'm good." So Ed comes up. He has the plaque. I said, "Can we?" I said, "Bob, we had made this plaque for you because it's one of the fastest sellouts at the Stanley, and we want to present this with you." He goes, "Oh, yeah, okay." So he gets up. I help him get up, and he and I don't know if you've ever did see the picture. He was really drawn and looked pretty bad. But also, I have some other pictures of him. He was smiling and he didn't
Joyful.
look too bad. But none of us knew of anything that he had brain cancer. Okay, from kicking a soccer ball back when and never took care of it, and from his toe, the cancer made it to his brain, and
Love that guy.
but he knew he was having problems of he was like half losing it, like with equilibrium and whatever, and so he goes on, and he plays the most heartfelt show that you could ever imagine. The people stood, 3,800 people stood the entire show, and it was unbelievable. How he did the redemption song,
One of my
and,
favorites.
and One Love, and it
What
was,
a talent.
it was just so great, and he ended, and only he knew it was over, and I don't think this ever made my book, this part of it, but after the show, he did tell the band that we need to get together. They needed to get together because he wanted to tell them something, and so he got them together. And I wasn't there for this. I had left. I went out into the theater then. But he said, "Listen," he goes, "we are not going to the next show. Right now, there's no more shows until I let you know we're going to Jamaica tomorrow." And that's what happened. They packed up, and that was the plan. They went back home. And after that show, he never played
performed
again. No.
Great story. Listen, so much. When you think of him and you think of Pat and Ed Traviseri, it's really one love for all of you, what you've done for me. I can't thank you enough. Listen, tell them about this wonderful event one more time. HM3 partnership. Who's going to be there and when it's going to happen? Go ahead.
Okay, Friday night, Queen V from New York City
July 26th.
will be hitting the stage and doing a set, and right after her, newly inducted Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo and their band will be going on and playing probably 90, 120-minute set, and we can't wait for that. And the next day is Saturday, and that will be the Ghost Towns, Thomas Tall and the crew, kicking it off and doing their set, and then all starring the legendary Hall of Famer as well, and like King Tut, man, he's one of the greatest of all time, Smokey Robinson,
The best.
and his band and backup singers will be doing their probably 90 minutes, and then there'll be an intermission, and some awards and some presentations at that time on stage, and we will roll right into the unbelievable show of Pitbull. And
I can't thank you honestly enough. You're going to be on the radio with me July the 8th to kind of remind people again. But this is something you don't want to miss. Plug in and get your party hats out because you're going to need them. Listen, thank you, buddy. God bless.
thank you.
He
God
and
bless.
Cindy love coming here. It's kind of like, I don't know, a little vacation for you, Pat. Now it's time to go back to work. We'll see you later on the radio on KDK. Good afternoon, everybody.
Keep on rocking.
Perfect.